On this, let's go to Shahram Akbarzadeh. He's a professor of Middle East politics at Deakin University, Australia, and a senior fellow at the Middle East Council in Doha. So thank you so much for your time and for joining us here on TRT World. So we've seen 3 rounds of talk so far, I believe, by my count. But with Iran holding firm on its red lines like uranium enrichment and regional policy, is there any real room, you think, for a breakthrough in these talks?
Well, there's significant room for a breakthrough. I think the fact that the Iranians are sitting down and talking with the Americans on the nuclear issue is very significant. But it looks very much like Trump tore up the JCPOA agreement in 2018. Now, to come back to an almost identical agreement, which only deals with Iran's nuclear program. There are some red lines that we heard earlier, red lines that Iran will not cross, and that is Iran believes it has a sovereign right to enrich uranium and have a nuclear program on its soil. Marco Rubio has suggested that Iran needs to dismantle everything, and if they need enriched uranium up to 3.67%, they can perhaps import that. So that would be a red line. That would be a big red line for Iranian authorities. But the fact that they are talking now, and the fact that the Iranian leadership has decided that it needs to find a solution to alleviate the significant economic decline in Iran and to free Iran from sanctions. All of these point to a desire from the Iranian side, but also from the American side. Trump doesn't want to go into war. Trump has, although he has been using gunboat diplomacy, bombing Houthis and sending all the signals about having the military option on the table against Iran, despite all of that, he prefers to have a deal, as he says.
Professor, from Tehran's perspective, sanctions have devastated the economy, and I imagine people there also see previous US behavior as unpredictable and even deceitful. What kind of guarantees, if any, do you think could make Iran trust a Trump-led Washington again?
Well, that is a question that the Iranian leadership keeps asking, because it was Trump who tore up the agreement, tore up JCPOA. And they keep asking, what kind of guarantee you're going to give us? And I don't think there is any guarantee that anyone can give Iran. The only way to perhaps protect the agreement is to have an international commitment. But we had that in JCPOA, and it did not stop the United States. It did not stop Trump from withdrawing. So I don't think Iran can expect to have any agreement, any guarantee on the agreement.
Yeah, we know Trump calls these talks a success. But how is this playing inside Iran, particularly with the public? Do people think this round of diplomacy could actually lead to relief, or do you think they believe this is all about survival optics?
Right. I think what we see in Iran is a bit of mixed emotions. There is some hope and expectation that these talks will lead into sanctions relief and improvement in the economy. But there is also fear and skepticism about the United States. Again, it was Trump himself who tore up the agreement. So it's difficult for the Iranian public to really trust Trump. So the history is actually against it. So these mixed emotions, but overall, there's expectation that something will happen.
All right, Professor Akbarzadeh, thank you so much for your time once more.
Thanks for having me.